Day 2, and I start at Ayrton where I left off, and the weather's a bit overcast. It's forecast to get quite windy as the day goes on. So I set off and I went to the first place, which is called Craco. And after Craco, it meanders along a really little tarmac road that goes up and down, just following the side of a valley. For quite a long way, probably 6 or 7 miles. And it eventually comes to a place called Apple Tree Wick. But before Apple Tree Wick, there's a little steep, sharp climb that climbs up to the pub that's on the top there. And as I'm climbing up this steep climb, there's a couple of road bikers come alongside me. And I'm going up at quite a good pace, and they're sort of asking me what I'm doing and what I'm on. And they were actually doing the Way of the Roses as well. And off they went. So you go over this brow and you drop down, and eventually you come to a left-hand junction where it takes you up a hill. Now I think this particular hill is the steepest, longest climb, I think, on the Way of the Roses. And it was good. It's one of those where you come to a bend to turn up, and if you go on the inside, it's a really steep climb, so you sort of go around the outside and come round. Single track again. I just got to the main road now, to Pateley Bridge, and it's been very, very hilly. Just done the climb out of Apple Tree Wick, which was very steep. Amazing view over there where we come from. This should be really good now. So I'm going to get my dinner in Pateley Bridge, and we'll keep you updated. Thank you. And I just did classic. And if I look behind, and I got sort of a good 500 yards behind me, nothing coming, I'd do a bit of skate. I was always aware, skating, if a car was coming, I'd go back to classic. And then eventually it gets right up onto the top, and it was getting really windy. So as I'm skiking along, my poles are starting to bang into my legs. So I had to make sure and concentrate that every movement, the pole didn't blow across and land in front of the Skike or between the Skike. So I got up there and I could see the Land Rovers parked in a lay-by, and in front of it was like a VW camper van type vehicle with 2 pairs of legs sat out the side and a map. And as I'm coming along, this lady jumped out of this van and started pointing and waving at me, and then these 2 people jumped up with the map, and it was the 2 guys on the bikes, and they were clapping at me and waving and thumbs up and things. And again, little things like that, they really give you a really good boost. So the next bit is you drop down into Pateley Bridge, and it's a really steep descent, and at the top of the road are big road signs saying you are approaching Greenhow Hill. Cyclists, be really aware that it's a very steep descent. So I just went down it on the Skikes, and I could actually smell a bit of rubber on the burning on my tyres on the way down. But I went down there, come through and up the village sort of centre of Pateley Bridge, and I'm going up there through Pateley Bridge, and I have to turn right, and just as I'm coming up I could hear these bikes coming again, and it was these 2 chaps on these road bikes, and they're like saying, how the hell did you go down there on those skis? And they were just baffled by it because they just couldn't believe it. So anyway, off they went. I stopped just outside Pateley Bridge for my dinner. So after my dinner, I turn and I go up a little tiny single track road that takes you up to a place called Brimham Rocks. And Brimham Rocks is a big sandstone outcrop, really quite spectacular. And I'm going up there and the wind starts picking up again, and I got to a junction. I had to turn into wind. I turned into wind. I'm skarking along, and suddenly, from nowhere, it starts spitting on me. And the next thing is, it's sleeting and snowing. Not enough to cover the road, but really cold. So I'm up there and I'm really digging in, I'm going for it. And I get to a junction, and from here, it just goes down and down and down. So I'm going down towards Ripon. But before you get to Ripon, you've got Fountains Abbey, which is a spectacular old monastery abbey. And it takes you round sort of in front of the abbey and goes into the grounds. So you're on this road for about, I don't know, half a mile, and it takes you into Ripon. And I've never been through sort of it's not a city, I don't think, but it's like a big town. So I got to these traffic lights and I stopped on the pavement. Alright, just going to do this video now before I get into Ripon, which is quite chaotic, as you can see. So I'm going to have to negotiate my way through here. But we're doing alright yet, going to keep going a bit longer yet. See you later, everybody. And then I could see a Way the Roses sign that took me right, and that took me through a pedestrianised area. So after Ripon, crossed the road, straight back onto these lovely single track roads, and I was on one of those for probably 10 miles out of there, and I just kept going and going and going, and I thought I'll get to the next village and I'll stop, and I went through the next village, and I got to the next village where I thought I'm going to have to stop really. Here is the data.